What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Optimize You podcast. We are the podcast helping you optimize feeling and looking your best every single week. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe. If you're not new, make sure you share it with a friend, coworker, family member. We appreciate all the help. And now in today's podcast. Today, another solo podcast for you. And if you obviously saw it titled, we're talking all about setbacks. So reason I'm doing this podcast, so I just had a surgery to remove like a big cyst that's on the back. It's like my back/shoulder here. This bad boy was big. And so I've had it for a long time. And really the reason I've pushed off having the surgery is because the after surgery recovery period is kind of shitty, where 2 weeks without using really your upper body whatsoever. And obviously you can do it for like basic tasks, but no like lifting, stuff like that. The next 2 weeks, I can start to incorporate lifting with my opposite arm, my right arm here. And then after that, I can start to resume like normal activity, just normal workouts, easing back into lifting with both arms, easing back into other activities, stuff like that. And so it's a long runway of me not being able to do all the things that I want to do, which kind of sucks. And I really forgot that is a huge reason why I pushed this off for so long, because this mass just kind of grew to a point where it was just gross, and you just assume something like that isn't supposed to be on the body. So really want to get it off before there's any chance of it being something other than just like a mass, right? And anything cancerous, stuff like that. So got that removed literally yesterday as I'm recording this. And so I wanted to pop on here. I was just thinking about how different my life is going to be for the next 2 to 4 weeks, especially as I am not able to do my normal activity, my normal workouts. But, I think a lot of times what people will do in this case when it comes to health and fitness is completely throw in the towel, not do anything at all. And you forget about the different avenues that you do have to continue staying in shape and continue, eating the right way. And so like these first 48 hours, I'm not supposed to do any sort of thing that gets my heart rate up. So naturally, I'm not going to really do my normal walks, but this thing is on my back, guys. So after these 48 hours is done, like for me, I'm recording this on a Friday, come Sunday, I'm going to start getting my walks in. I'm going to focus on trying to get my 10,000 steps in a day. Maybe I'm going to up the walking a little bit more than I normally would. Generally, I get probably 7,000 to 10,000 steps a day, give or take, whatever the day is. I'm going to focus on getting over 10,000 steps in a day, because that's going to be a huge portion of my exercise and my just ability to work out. Another thing is I can obviously use my legs, right? So, I'm going to be going into the gym, getting leg workouts in. I can do body weight squats, body weight lunges, backwards, forwards, sideways, calf raises, like different leg machines at the gym, leg press, stuff like that. Anything that doesn't really incorporate my upper body. So obviously not going to be able to do like putting a barbell on my back, not going to be able to use dumbbells, stuff like that, where I'm incorporating upper body, but machines, body weight stuff, I can easily do. Anything that's not doing that. So those are the kind of things, right? And also nutrition doesn't have to change. Naturally, I know a lot of times what people will do, especially when you're moving less, is if you're like sick, or if you're like recovering from an injury, if you're recovering from a surgery, stuff like that, people will like drastically lower their calories. And what I found is that's the wrong way to go about it, because your body still needs a lot of fuel to fuel that recovery, right? Whether that's recovery from sickness, whether that's recovery from an injury, a surgery, whatever it is, like our bodies need that fuel and that food and that water and that nutrition to be able to recover from that. So it's a huge thing that I'm going to do, is just make sure I'm still eating around the same amount of food that I have been eating, even with more exercise. I'm just going to, my exercise will just change a little bit. It probably will be a little bit less than normal, but I'm going to do my best with it. Right. And that's the same thing with the sickness. I always have talked about on this podcast before in the past, if you're sick, a lot of times what people just completely throw in the towel. And I know for me in the past too, when I'm sick, sometimes like all my nutrition will just go to shit, because I'm reaching for the most convenient thing, and I'm ordering out, or I'm just like doing whatever I can that's convenient, because I don't want to put in the mental bandwidth to eat something like or to make something or whatever it may be. And I found that that also can prolong that sickness and make it so that we're not actually recovering as quickly as we could. And so what I like to do in that scenario is I like to go into the recovery plan. And that is, really focusing on sleep and stress management, really focusing on still keeping that nutrition up into like the 70-80% quality foods and like doing your best there, making convenient things, keeping convenient foods around the house, drinking plenty of water and electrolytes. That's huge, especially when you're sick, to do that. And just getting whatever movement you can in. Naturally, if you're sick, like you're not going to want to stress the system too much, but going on a little bit of a walk, doing something really small. I found getting into the sauna or getting like a sweat on can really be beneficial, however that may be. Maybe that's like going on a short little run. Maybe that's just doing like a quick circuit or something like that. Whatever it may be, just make sure you're not like taxing the system too much. I found that for me has kind of gone in the wrong direction, right? And so, but the injuries, the stuff like that, like I've had many clients that are going through injuries, and they're like almost just trying to put like health and fitness and workouts. They're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to work out for these next 2 months while I'm recovering from injury. No, we can always find something to do. And I know there's a lot of research as well. Like if like once I am able to, after 2 weeks, use this right arm, I'm going to do single arm exercises and shoulder press and chest press from the floor and bicep curls and tricep extension, stuff that is going to strengthen that arm, because I've seen research and stuff out there that there's plenty of it actually, that like doing one arm actually will help the other arm's recovery. So you'll see people who maybe like broke something in their left arm, or they had like an injury where they're out of commission for 3-4 months, whatever it may be. And there's stuff out there, and don't quote me on the actual, if you look into it, you'll see this research where strengthening that just single arm stuff actually helps get that other arm coming up on. And that's the same thing with legs as well, any body part, right? So another thing that you guys can keep in your repertoire there, something that I'm going to incorporate as I'm able to with this surgery, is single arm stuff that I can do. But in the end, really moral of this episode is that there's always angles that we can take to continue moving forward, right? There's always things that we can control in our day-to-day that are going to help us continue moving forward with our health and fitness and our goals with our body, feeling our best, looking our best. There's going to be setbacks throughout the year, through injuries, through sickness, through maybe surgeries that come up, other things that I'm not thinking about. And if you can just figure out what you can do, stop like dwelling on it. Stop thinking, oh, well, I'm going to have to put all this on the back burner for a long period of time. No, it doesn't have to be that long of a period of time. A lot of times it's not that long, and we can make a lot of progress even with just lower body stuff. I know, for example, my senior year of college, my second to last game in college baseball, I tore my UCL in my elbow. So for anybody, and it was a partial tear, but that's the Tommy John ligament for anybody who is familiar, right? So I didn't have to have Tommy John surgery, but I had to be in like a brace for a long period of time. I couldn't, for months and months and months, I couldn't do anything upper body, right? I just could do my rehab stuff that I had with like bands and like very small weights. And so I just lifted legs and I ran sprints and I did like what I could for a long period of time. And what I did is I grew my legs stronger than it had ever been before, because I was working out legs like every other day. And like I was doing sprints, like which was strengthening my legs even more, but also working on my cardio. I was doing everything that I could. And at the end of the line, like it allowed me to, and I was also doing one arm stuff, like single arm exercises with my left arm, which wasn't hurt. And so all of these things like led me to getting into the best shape of my life in that period of time. But I could have easily just been like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to do anything. But I controlled my nutrition. I stayed hydrated. I focused on the exercises that I could do, and it led me to getting in the best shape of my life. And that can happen for you as well. So I would just challenge you to find the solution. When you have an injury, anything that's setting you back, there's always something that you can do, right? Don't focus on what you can't do. Focus on the part of the things that you actually are able to do, and you'll get a lot farther along, and you'll be able to make it so that those setbacks don't set you back as much as they could. So hopefully this has been helpful. Guys, if you do enjoy this, if this was helpful, all that we ask is you share this with a friend, coworker, family member, somebody who could benefit. And we appreciate you watching and listening every single day and week. And we hope you have a good rest of the week. We'll be talking to you soon.